Looking for a great place to purchase Dragon Ball Super product? Look no further than Pro Play Games. They carry a wide array of singles and sealed product at amazing prices. Go to www.pro-playgames.com today.
Welcome back to the Mafuba Jar. We have sealed you away for more Dragon Ball Super content. Today, I am going to be profiling a deck that I did very, very well with a couple weeks ago, and that deck is going to be a blue-green Vegeta deck. Now, I played this deck at a local Dragon Ball Super tournament with about 10 players, I believe it was, something like that. Actually, no, I think it might have been 10 or 12. I can't remember exactly, but I did very well with it. I did go 2-1 at that tournament, and I ended up totally getting third place. So it worked out really well for me, actually. My matchups were pretty good. I didn't have any issues really with the deck at all. It ran very smooth, and I definitely recommend it for sure. So let's take a look at the deck because it's a little interesting in some regards to the way that you've seen other decks built here on the channel, and maybe decks that have been built in general from tournament results and things like that. So let's start off by saying that this deck is actually the same deck that Pro Play Games player Marcel won the Las Vegas regional tournament with. I saw it, I was like, you know what, this looks really interesting. I'm gonna build it. And I did, and it worked out great. So for those of you who have not seen that from Pro Play Games on their channel and their deck profiles and stuff, I'm just gonna profile it here for you guys. So this deck is definitely credited to him, but it did very well for me, and it does take a good player to be able to pilot the deck. So let's take a look at it. This deck, I should say, is all built around Vegeta. So Vegeta is a very good leader card. It has an activate main once per turn. Choose one card from your life, add it to your hand. This card gains critical for the duration of the turn. Critical is pretty, what's the word I'm looking for here? It's pretty devastating, especially early game when you just force your opponent to take cards out of their life and throw them in the drop area. A lot of decks depend on getting cards out of their life in order to put into their hand and set up for later on after they awaken. And Vegeta kind of says, no, we're not gonna do that, but at the same time, I'm gonna help to awaken myself. So that's pretty darn good. Anyways, that is the first side here. Once you get to 4 or less life, you can awaken and flip over the card. And guess what? It's the same exact thing. However, if you have 7 or more blue energy, this card gains 10,000 power for the duration of the turn, turning it into 25,000, and critical if you take a card from your life and put it into your hand. Pretty good. Also, when this card attacks, draw a card, just like most, I think every Awakened leader has this at this point. So there's that. Extra draw once you awaken. Really no reason to not awaken at 4. This is a deck where you want to awaken at 4 pretty much every time. So this is what the deck is based around. All right, we're gonna put this right over here and take a look at the deck. Now, here's the interesting thing about this deck. The only extra cards in this deck are these 4 cards in my hand right now, and they are not Whis' Coercion. There's no Whis in this deck whatsoever. No Whis' Coercion. However, what there are 4 copies of Senzu Bean. So, Senzu Bean, choose up to 1 of your cards. It gains 5,000 power for the duration of the turn, and then choose up to 2 of your energy and switch them to active. So you pay 1, you get 2 back, essentially giving you back an energy as long as you have the 1 to play. You get that one back plus another one, so that's pretty cool. And it has to be, of course, blue energy, so you gotta be careful with your energy, what you put down, because if you put down a green card and it's not currently tapped, you can't play Senzu Bean unless you have a blue one. So you gotta be careful with that. But this is our only extra card, 4 Senzu Bean. That's it. All right, let's take a look at the cards you actually want to put out for your in your battle area. So first, we're gonna be looking at Energy Power Gotenks. There's 4 of them. It's a 3-drop, one of them being a green energy requirement. Its auto says when this card attacks a leader card, your opponent chooses 1 card from their hand and places it into the drop area. So 15,000, it's a 3-drop attacker. And if you attack their leader, they have to take a card out of their hand and put it in the drop area. It's definitely devastating because, remember, you're playing Vegeta, which has already got critical when you take a card out of your life and put it into your hand. So you're already hitting them for critical. Their life is going into their drop area, and now they're taking cards out of their hand and putting it into the drop area. It's pretty devastating, especially like I said, early game. You start doing this early, you get them down to a small hand size, and there's not a whole lot they can do. Hand denial is a big thing in any card game, so this is pretty good for that. You play 4 of them, and it's a good card. All right, so that's that battle card. Next up on the battle card list, if it's blue-green, it's got Kale, of course. 4-drop, of course. 2 green energy, Hidden Awakening Kale. It is a 20,000 power card. It's got critical as well. The auto is, when you play this card, choose one of your battle cards and KO it. Then choose any number of your opponent's battle cards, which the total cost adds up to 5 or less, and KO them. Now, this card will kill tokens. It will knock them out. So, that doesn't even count towards the 5 energy cost or less, because tokens don't have an energy cost. So you can knock out every single token on the board, and you can also knock out other cards that add up to 5 appear in their energy cost. So that's pretty cool. The other auto it has is when this card attacks, if you have 5 or less cards in your hand, you get to draw a card as well. So it's built-in draw, critical, and you can KO a bunch of battle cards as long as it's 5 or less total energy, and it hits 20,000 power. Pretty good. I mean, really good. At one point, this card was up so high in price, it was almost, well, it was silly, to be quite honest with you. But that's the way all card games work when something gets hyped up, so not too surprising. Anyways, 3 copies of Hidden Awakening Kale. Our next battle card here is Full Power Trunks. Now, a lot of people are a little on the fence with this card, but hear me out. Full Power Trunks, it's a 4 energy cost to play. 2 of them have to be green. It's got Triple Strike, which in and of itself is really good. The card inflicts 3 damage instead of 1 when attacking. The permanent is where things get a little bit sketchy. All right, so all of your opponent's battle cards gain blocker, which means when one of your other cards is attacked, you may switch this card to rest mode and change the target of the attack to this card for the duration of the card's battle. So basically, if your opponent has any battle cards out, you don't want to attack with Full Power Trunks. That's the point here. However, if you play Kale and get rid of their board and they don't have any battle cards, well, shoot, we got a Triple Strike 20,000 power card. It's really good then, but it's only good when your opponent doesn't have any battle cards out at all. You've got to wipe out their battle cards or play this card when they don't have any and make them pay for it, in other words. So 4-drop is not bad at all for 20,000 and Triple Strike. You just have to make sure you time it right. That's what matters the most. So there's 3 copies of that card in here. Now we get to a blue card. How about that? All this green, and where's the blue been all this time? Well, here you go. 2 copies. Light of Hope Trunks. This is a promo card. This is a tournament pack promo, set 1 tournament pack promo. 3-drop. 2 of them have to be blue. The permanent is during your turn, if you have 5 or more energy, this card and your leader card gains 5,000 power. So this deck doesn't have a lot of energy acceleration, and you don't really need a ton of it, and that's what's really good about it. So basically, if you have 3 energy, you can pretty much do what you need to do to make this deck work. However, if your opponent wants to stall you out, then you can tell them, hey, fine, cool. Let me get up to 5 energy. That's perfectly fine. That means now Vegeta will gain 5,000 power, and this card will also gain 5,000 power. So that means when you're unawakened, Vegeta turns into a 15,000 power crit, and when it's awakened, turns it into a 20,000 power and crit. And if you happen to get out 7 energy, then that turns it into 30,000 power and crit if you take the card out of your life. I just don't even know how you're supposed to escape that. If your opponent lets you build up a board that big, and you can really get that much blue energy down to get 10,000, which is kind of rare, and let's be honest. But at the very least, you're talking about a 20,000 power leader card with crit. It's pretty strong, and they definitely pay the price for it if they let you build that up. So whether they stall you out or they don't, you have ways to win the game. And Light of Hope Trunks helps that quite a bit. So this is actually all you have for battle cards. These are the only cards you're ever going to want to put out onto the field itself. In an extreme emergency situation, some of these other cards maybe, but you don't want to put them out by paying the energy cost. Let's just put it that way. All right, so that's it for the battle cards. You've got your extra cards, you got your battle cards. Now let's take a look at the rest of them. I guess you could say these are battle cards as well, but you're not ever going to attack with them. These are more of your support battle cards than anything. First and foremost, as you saw, we do play 2 different copies of Trunks cards. We've got the Light of Hope Trunks and Full Power Trunks, so it only makes sense that we play 4 of Bulma, Supporter of the Future. This is a 1-drop, 1 blue energy required. The auto says when you play this card, you may choose up to 1 Trunks Future with an energy cost of 4 or less from your deck and add it to your hand, then shuffle your deck. Most of the time, you're probably going to use this to search out Full Power Trunks, but sometimes you want to search out Light of Hope Trunks if you've been stalled out or whatever, and sometimes playing this card is just really good because you can thin out your deck. That is probably the biggest benefit to playing Bulma in the first place, is thinning out your deck. Getting a better opportunity to draw cards that you really, really need and want for a matchup is more important, I think, than anything else. So you're using this card to help get stuff out of your deck, put it into your hand, and have a better opportunity, a better ratio of odds to drawing something that you need. So 4 copies of Bulma, put that down. Not to mention, it makes for a good combo fodder later on in the game, a free 5,000 combo. Next up for combo cards, let's see, what do we want to do next? That's battle cards. I'm gonna go ahead and do this one next, yeah. All right, the next card we're gonna be taking a look at here is really interesting. I think this card was underrated for too long, and now I really see the benefits of it. That is going to be Ultimate Judgment Jocko. So this card, you only ever want to combo with, and you can combo with it for free, which is amazing. The auto is, when you combo with this card, choose 1 card in your opponent's combo area and return it to their hand. Yeah, that's pretty good. So you're only gonna really want to use this on your, not on your turn, but on your opponent's turn. So your opponent decides what they're gonna do to combo out, right? Let's just say they have an attacker. It's got, we'll just say 15,000 power, right? And they're attacking into your awakened leader that also has 15,000 power. They go, okay, well, that's even, but I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna combo with, I don't know, we'll combo with a Bulma. Okay, so they're 5,000 ahead. That's fine. What you do is combo with Jocko. That gives you 20,000, and it takes their Bulma and puts it back into their hand. So now you've won that battle. There's nothing else they can do at that point except move on to either their next battle card or their other, or, if they didn't attack with leader, whatever, it doesn't matter. That wins the battle for you. So Jocko can be really good for that. So we play 4 copies for that reason, and it's also a good free 5,000 combo in general, so nice. Next up, we have 4 copies of Unyielding Spirit Trunks, another free combo, 5,000 power combo. During your turn, when you combo with this card, again, this is during your turn, if your leader card is blue, which it is, of course, because we're playing Vegeta, choose up to 1 of your energy and switch it into active mode. Now, this is any energy, whether it be blue or green, it doesn't even matter. It's really good for playing the game out and really having opportunities to do more on a turn. So if you get yourself tapped out and you play, I don't know, there you go. All right, 2 Unyielding Spirit Trunks, 10,000 power, plus I'm gonna get 2 of my energy back to the active. You can do more after you get done with that particular battle point. You know, if you have a card that's got a 2-drop cost, and let's just say for argument's sake, you've got one of these and you put it down, tap your other 2 energy, you tapped out again, but you put out another battle card and you can attack again. Never play this card as a battle card though, by the way. That's just for demonstration's sake, in other words. So this is a really good card to combo with because it's got all these cards so far have a free combo cost of 0, and they give you 5,000 power. And the benefits of these 2 cards to combo with are amazing. I mean, bouncing a card from your opponent's combo back into their hand and getting energy back is really good. Let's see here. We have 4 copies of Raging Spirit Son Gohan. Now, this one costs 1 energy to be able to combo with it, but when you do, at the end of the battle, after you combo with this card from your hand, if your leader card is blue, play this card in rest mode. So essentially, you're gonna be playing this card, leaving it in rest mode for 1 turn, and you only paid 1 energy to get it there in the first place. Not bad. And you get that 10,000 power bonus. You just have to make sure you have 1 energy to use in order to combo with it. So that's another battle card for you to put out onto the field without paying a full cost. All right. Also, we've got Furthering Destruction Champa. Now this costs 1 as well, but the auto on this one is when you combo with this card, choose one of your attacking cards and it gains double strike. This card inflicts 2 damage instead of 1 when attacking for the duration of the battle. Now, a really early combination that works out well for this deck is nobody expects you to combo out at all, period, during the first couple turns of the game. So you attack with Vegeta, right? So you go, all right, I'm gonna attack with Vegeta to your leader, okay? No negates, cool. I'm going to combo with Champa, awesome. Now we've got double strike crit because let's just say for argument's sake, I activated the, activate the main and get a card from my life and put it into my hand. This now has double strike and crit, early game. Nobody's gonna wanna take that. So they're gonna waste resources either to try to negate this from happening by comboing even more cards, or they're gonna take it and they're gonna put 2 life straight into their drop area. I mean, can you really be mad at that? Either way, you kinda come out ahead. So double strike is really good. You just have to have the energy to do it. All right, we also have 4 copies of Boost Attack Piccolo. Again, there's no reason to not play this card. When you combo with this card, if your leader card is blue and your life is 4 or less, you draw 1 card and add a free 10,000 power to this card's combo for the duration of the turn. So if you're down to 4 life or less, this is 10,000 and you get to draw a card. And if you're attacking with your leader, you're already drawing anyway. So, I mean, you're gonna get 2 cards that way for every, you're gonna get 2 cards, 1 from this and 1 more card for every one of these that you play as well, and 10,000 power. So as you can see, there may not be any negates in this deck, but you're playing cards that are just gonna combo and add up really, really quickly. The last card you're gonna have here for comboing is gonna be the Sun Goten Family of Justice. It does cost 1 energy to do 5,000 combo, but when you combo with this card, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost of 3 or less and KO it. So we have ways to KO a lot of things for that full power Trunks, as I mentioned earlier. You've got Kale to get rid of things up to 5, and then you have this that gets rid of 1 card up to 3 or less. So we have ways to clear the board without really worrying too much about playing that full power Trunks. Like I said, this one costs an energy to do so. Kale to do it, it costs you 1 battle card. Either way, it clears the board, and really, this deck is super, super aggressive. The other cards that we have here to go over, this is all of your combo stuff, by the way. I started by doing Bulma, and I realized that I actually should have moved on to something else, but I got distracted. So after Bulma should have been 4 copies of Energy Boosted Majin Buu. Of course, this is a card you're gonna play early game. You're gonna want to have this for draw purposes. When you play this card, draw 1 card. That's the auto for this. 1 drop early game. You really want to have this in your hand to start with. That's really good. And it's not bad later on either. So drawing is always good in any card game. Doesn't matter what it is. Speaking of drawing things, we also have 3 copies of Bundle of Curiosity Son Goku. You could actually attack with this card if you wanted to. It does have 10,000 power. Some people do. I guess it's all a matter of preference or what kind of situation you're in the game. But when you play this card, you draw 1 card. It costs 2 energy, 1 of them has to be green, and it gives you that same power as energy boosted Majin Buu. But like I said, it also gives you a 10,000 power card over a 5,000 power card. So it actually has some battle potential as well. All right, guys, that is the entire deck. You guys can do with it what you want, but I have to say the way that Marcel built this, it worked out really, really well for me. I didn't have any problems with the way the deck was running at all. I just got unlucky in 1 matchup, actually. It wasn't even my fault. It was just more of a case where I assumed a situation would go one way and it went the other way. That's the only reason I lost in that 1 game that I did. So it got me 3rd place, which in the shop, we split some store credit and stuff like that. So worked out well. I definitely enjoy playing it, and I do recommend it as well. I think it's still a good deck. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this deck profile here on the Mafuba Jar. If you did, be sure to hit that like button, comment down below, subscribe for more content here, and we will see you guys next time.